figure out what happens. All right, let's figure out what happens next.
Look.
December 18th, 9:34 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 5. So we're just going right back to the next day. We're not going to figure out what's going on with Apollo? No?
Maybe he gave us something. Like, we found something on him.
Maybe. But here,
That's
so
like
my kind of guess here is like, it's most likely whoever attacked him is the one that did the bombing. And like they wanted to stop him from finding evidence. Which is 100% going to lead to our bomb expert. 100%.
Also, if you grab the bear and prove there was no other bear found at the scene.
Yep. This isn't exactly how I envisioned the second day of the trial going to start. But given how things ended yesterday, good morning. The mood sure is tense. Not that it's any surprise.
Oh, hey, did you read the paper this morning, boss?
Huh? The paper? That came out of left field.
You didn't read it? Then you don't know the big news. Somebody spotted an abominable snowman way up in the mountains.
Now's not the time.
I bet you that's a later case.
Tell me you know the difference between a tabloid and a paper, Athena.
It might show up in the forest where you live, Junie. So you better watch out, okay? You really should read the story for yourself. I couldn't even begin to do it justice.
Oh.
Yeah, pause the thing for a quick second.
Alright, recording unpaused. That was just very awkward. They just pop in. It's like, whatever. Right, I think, so this was, I don't think you'd read this yet.
You really should read your story for yourself. I couldn't even begin to do it justice. You're streaming?
I mean, we could, but more... What
More importantly, she just said the trigger word justice.
Justice.
Huh?
Oh, poor Apollo. And it's all my fault. Athena.
Ah, Junie, what was I thinking? I'm so sorry.
What we found yesterday was not Apollo's dead body, thank goodness. He'd been assaulted by someone with a blow to his head and was lying unconscious. Thank goodness.
He was close, though.
We rushed him to the hospital right away, and it looks like he's going to pull through. But it was still quite a shock to stumble onto a scene like that. Is Miss Woods all right then, Athena?
Well, I managed to get her to stop crying. Now she's resting on the sofa over there.
Guess he really feels responsible for what happened to Apollo.
Poor Junie. She believes that the reason Apollo was attacked is because he was helping her look for something in that courtroom.
Oh? Guess I can see why she'd think that. By the way, how are you doing?
Who, me?
Yes, yeah, you. I know you're concerned about Miss Woods, but are you all right?
Me? I'm doing just fine, boss. I mean, yeah, it was a huge shock, but I'm all right. People who studied analytical psychology are great at times like these. After all, they learned how to control their own emotions, too. not what the thing is saying.
Somehow, I don't think it's as easy as she makes it sound. Because there's no denying she's a real trooper. Paul doesn't remember a thing, does he?
Yeah, he can't recall anything from the time right before he was assaulted. Nothing about what he was doing in the courtroom number 4 or who assaulted him.
Well, that's not good.
The doctor said it's probably due to the hit that he took to the head.
Assaulted in a court of law and losing your memory at that. I know how that feels. Yes, Phoenix does know how that feels. Welcome back to Case 2 from the previous trilogy.
But who in the world would do such a thing, huh, Mr. Wright? Good, just wait till I get my hands on the coward who hurt Apollo.
Now, Athena. I thought you said you were in control of your emotions. Just focus on helping Miss Woods, okay? I admit, I'm just as upset as you.
Okay, but you're right. Apollo's assailant can wait after we clear Junie's name.
That's the spirit. Now let's see. Better check the court record one more time before the trial starts. Do we have something new? No?
Earth to Mr. Wright. I'm ready whenever you are.
Alright, let's get ready to rumble.
You bet.
So everything that happened was Apollo. I didn't have time for a proper investigation. Can't let that stop me, though. I have to get this right, for Miss Wood's sake. And Apollo's, too. December 18th, 9:50 a.m. District Court, courtroom, number 5.
Any new info?
Nope, there was no new evidence.
Court will now reconvene for the trial of Juniper Woods.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is also ready, Your Honor.
Now then, I believe I instructed the prosecution to further their investigation. Were you able to locate the remote switch in question?
I'm afraid the remote switch is still missing, Your Honor.
I must say, I'm disappointed, Mr. Payne. Not angry, just disappointed.
I apologize, Your Honor. Aha. Looks like the prosecution is just as unprepared as I am. There is a separate matter, however, that I would like to bring up during this trial. Probably Apollo.
A separate matter, you say? And what might that be?
I assume you're aware that another incident occurred during yesterday's trial. I am speaking, of course, of the assault on Mr. Justice in the ruins of courtroom number 4. Uh-oh. Why is he bringing that up?
Yes, what a truly harrowing experience it must have been.
He's gonna...
Poor Mr. Justice.
He's gonna say it was Miss Woods that did it. I'm like, no. There would have been witnesses. If, like, she was in there looking with him. When they came to get her to come back to the courtroom, they would have seen Apollo down then. At the time of the attack, Mr. Justice was not alone. He was with the defendant, Miss Juniper Woods.
He was called back into court.
He isn't going where I think he's going with this, is he? The prosecution wishes to indict Miss Woods on the charge of Mr. Justice's assault.
Order in the court. Mr. Payne, the incident under deliberation here is the courtroom bombing. The assault of Mr. Justice has nothing to do with this trial. I was going to say that.
Ah, but I believe there is more connection between this case and Mr. Justice's assault. Please take a moment to consider these facts. Both events occurred in courtroom number 4. This is a location in the courtroom number 4 where the unconscious Mr. Justice was discovered.
In the defendant's stand?
Well, he was near it. As you can see, it's quite close to where Detective Arm's body was found.
That's still pretty far. And not to mention, Arms is actually... Oh, wait, no. Arms is in the defense stand. He is in prosecution side.
The question is, why did the culprit feel the need to maliciously attack Mr. Justice?
Why indeed? What do you believe their motive to be, Mr. Payne?
I believe Mr. Justice found something in that courtroom while Miss Woods was with him. Evidence that fingered her as the perpetrator of the bombing.
You mean he found some incriminating evidence?
That doesn't hold up. There's no way he can prove that either. I don't think.
Unless he has the evidence.
Precisely. And so I surmise that the defendant picked up a piece of rubble and hit Mr. Justice in the back of the head in order to silence him.
Objection!
Junie would never do such a thing. She was devastated when he found out Apollo hurt like that. Miss Sykes, please control your outburst.
Ahem. It is the prosecution's belief that by deliberating on Mr. Justice's assault, we will draw even closer to the truth of the courtroom bombing itself.
Very well. Miss Woods is hereby officially indicted on the charge of assaulting
This
Mr.
would
Justice.
not hold up. You can't just do that. You can't be like, oh yeah, it's definitely connected. It's definitely. Where's your proof? You say he found evidence. Where's the proof? Payne has zero proof making that he can back up this claim with. Zero. What? Why are you listening to Mr. Toupee over there? Also, considering our conversation yesterday, I think Apollo must have figured something out. Maybe the two incidents are related after all. Also, real quick. Is there anything else out of the ordinary we can see here? I don't look like it. Although Apollo's hand is kind of pointing over in that direction. I don't know if that's even relevant.
It could be. Last dying breath, right?
Well, it's not. He's not dead.
But last conscious breath could still be your last dying breath, right?
I would like to start by hearing from the defendant herself.
Very well, bailiff. Please bring Miss Woods to the witness stand. Off's back.
I'm sorry. I can't seem to stop. Miss Woods. She's still really upset about Apollo. Miss Woods, you went to the ruins of courtroom number 4 with Mr. Justice, did you not? Yes, I did. Good, good. If you would, then, please testify about what happened to the court. During the trial yesterday, I was overcome by a fit of coughing. Paul stayed with me and we went to the courtroom ruins together. But then I was called back to the courtroom to give a testimony. She has a little pause after that. Paul insisted on staying behind in the courtroom number 4. I swear I didn't attack Apollo. Why would I ever hurt such a kind person? Why indeed?
I wonder if the police officer that called him was the same bomber guy.
Could be.
So, Mr. Justice stayed by your side while you were feeling unwell? But then again, the bailiff was ordered to go get him, so... What an admirable young man. I thought this loud voice was his only outstanding feature.
Dang it, Judge.
Thank you,
Also,
Judge.
the thing is, I don't know if like that necessarily would have been allowed in the first place, like her leaving the defendant's chambers like that. But as long as
It was
I
a
guess she
special
was with
case, but
as long as she was with Apollo, I guess they're like, hey, she's with the defense, and they're not leaving the courthouse. It should be fine.
yeah.
Like it just seems weird.
But it's
Something's
like
weird.
saying like she couldn't go to the bathroom if she was sent out there.
True.
He may look like a little imp at times, but Apollo can be really nice too.
Hope she didn't hurt her wrist backhanding that one.
But one has to wonder, why did Mr. Justice stay behind in the ruins?
I think Apollo might have figured something out.
Something? What kind of something?
Something to do with the courtroom bombing. Kind of something, I think.
Oh, new evidence for the case, was it? That's a very big kind of something indeed.
I believe so. He mentioned looking for some evidence when I was called away.
Objection!
Just as I thought, there is a connection between the two incidents. But the defendant has told a very big lie, Your Honor.
What lie was that?
When she learned of Mr. Justice would be looking for evidence, she attacked him. No, it would have happened in the defendant's chambers. She attacked him to give herself the chance to destroy that evidence. No, I never. Miss Woods repaid Mr. Justice's kindness with violence. Yeah, that too, Poker. The bailiffs, once she showed up, when the bailiff showed up, they would have either seen her do it, or they would have known like she didn't do anything to him. Like, what the crap is this?
He would already be down in the room.
Yeah, he would already be down in the room when they came and got him. So it's like she attacked him at that point. They would have witnessed it. Like, come on.
He has a perfect alibi.
Actually, there's no way she could have done it. Come on. Okay, that's bullcrap. That is bullcrap right there.
We have a message though.
Also, isn't Apollo left-handed?
I don't remember them saying that.
I feel like Apollo, because that's also where his band is, and that's also his pointer finger. He always points with his left hand.
Rough
We
call.
found proof of her
anything.
foul deed there in the courtroom. What on earth? I'm sure Phoenix would be able to call bullcrap on this right away, too.
How do you write while knocked out?
Do you see it? There in front of Mr. Justice's right hand. The witness the message he left us.
It's written in blood. WOODS. Why isn't that?
That's right, Your Honor. It says Woods in the capital letters. No, it's most likely is his blood, but he's not the one that actually wrote it.
Yeah.
The culprit used his finger to write it. Classic Ace Attorney thing that's happened multiple times. It happened with Mia. It happened with Officer Duncan. How many other times has it happened?
Quite a few times, that's for sure.
So, like, doing a DNA test on the blood doesn't matter. It just matters that, like, I'm pretty sure that's the wrong hand. Well, there's blood on the rock, Poker Girl. What? I submit that Mr. Justice left us with the name of his attacker before he fainted. We can't
Wasn't his coat on?
No, it was draped over the shoulders, I'm pretty sure.
It just seems weird.
There's some people that wear them like that. It is very weird, but people do it. I don't get it. Yeah, I don't buy this at all.
And his right eye is bandaged. How did he see? You'd have to lift up his whole head and do it.
No, that can't be true. Why would Apollo write my name?
Mr. Wright, the nerve of him leaving that message. Why would he do this? Athena.
Please don't take it out on me. I don't understand it any more than you do. We discovered Apollo yesterday. The message doesn't look to be there in this shot. Also, he's clenching his fist over there.
Yep.
They're showing a different angle. He's clenching his fist a bit. Apollo.
Maybe he found the detonator.
No. Ah! But if it was a detonator, Payne would have been, hey, we found it. It was in Apollo's hand.
No, but if he had time to write the message, he had time to pick up the detonator on him.
But if Apollo did have the detonator in that hand because he found it, and the culprit took it from him, his fist wouldn't be clenched like that. It would be more opened.
Yeah, wouldn't we have seen the woods on it, actually? So someone had to come in after.
Yeah, because like, in this angle, we can't really see. Because right here, it's fairly close to his head.
How would Phoenix Wright and Athena miss that?
Yeah, like it. Yeah, it definitely should be on screen here. But maybe this is just a backflash image, so it's not. We can't necessarily trust it. We didn't have a chance to rush over to her. And as soon as security heard Athena scream, they ran in and cordoned off the area. As that, they were in courtroom number 4 with Apollo the whole time. We couldn't investigate anything ourselves and had to leave everything to the police. Still, I never thought they would find some bloody writing there.
Now then, please begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright.
That was when you were called to the stand after Mr. Tonate's testimony, right? Yes, the bailiff came to courtroom number 4 and brought me back to this courtroom. And what about Mr. Justice? Did he come with you, or did he stay behind? We need to summon that bailiff.
We can't.
Like, at this point, with her saying this, that bailiff needs to be summoned, because if that
to corroborate the story,
if the bailiff would be able to corroborate her story that Apollo was fine when she got brought, and that completely exonerates her from it. That like it would immediately prove it. But you know the game won't let us do that. Better not ask her about Apollo. I know. I'll use some small talk here to get her to relax a bit. Do you have any hobbies, Miss Woods? Hobbies? Well, I love growing vegetables in my garden. I love to knit. I like sewing, too. I made this outfit myself.
Keep it up, Mr. Wright. It's working. Now ask her if she has a crush on anyone.
No.
Athena, please.
Ahem. So, is there anyone in particular you like right now?
Phoenix?
Phoenix! Phoenix, no!
Objection!
Objection. I don't do that, too.
Mr. Wright, is that question even remotely related to this case? Actually, if we could do this as to a way of like she points out she actually likes Apollo, and then that kind of like, well, that kind of removes her motive to kill, and she's in love with him.
True.
Choose this case? Not really.
Mr. Wright, you'll refrain from asking questions unrelated to the case at hand.
Sorry, Your Honor. -1 brownie points.
I can't believe you listened to Athena there.
Miss Woods, please continue your testimony. I believe you were telling the court about your attack on Mr. Justice.
Hold it!
So you think Mr. Justice is kind? Yes, very kind. He rescued me. He's like the sun, strong and warm. He makes me feel strong too. The only objectives I'd associate with the sun are sweltering and oppressive. But then Apollo got hurt, and it's all my fault.
Junie, Apollo's gonna be fine. He's like the sun, right? Well, the sun doesn't just drop out of the sky.
Do you think he'll be fine? But the sun does go down at night. Then that means Apollo could.
Payne. Mr. Payne, I don't think much of men who would make young ladies cry.
Ah! So much for those manner classes, huh?
Look, it's obviously Junie didn't attack Apollo. I mean, that's just ridiculous.
Right, I agree. They must have gone to look for Bum Rap Riney together. But why did they need to find it so badly that they'd go to all that trouble? Better try to find out more. So I guess we need to press everything?
Yep.
Hold it!
Do you always cough when you get nervous, Miss Woods? Yes.
Mr. Wright, please do not make Miss Woods nervous by pressing her so ruthlessly.
But that barely even qualified as a quasi-question.
Let's help her relax with a little small talk before we dive into the cross-examination. You know, ask her about her hobbies and her crushes and stuff.
Shut up, Athena.
Hold it!
Why exactly did you go to the courtroom ruins? We went to look for my medicine to stop my coughing. Oh?
That's new.
Your medicine? Why would your medicine be in courtroom number 4? I dropped in the heat of the moment. Bum Rap Riney. He was keeping my medicine safe for me. It's a little compartment that I can put things in, you see. Ah. And Phony Fanty has the same type of pocket. That's where the bomb was inserted. I put the medicine for my coughing fits inside Bum Rap Riney. When I told Apollo about it, he said he'd help me go look for him. There was so much rubble in there. I was worried, but there was no rubble or anything in front of the witness stand. That's weird. So when we got inside, Apollo went straight there. I started looking for my Riney in that area. So nice of him to do that for me, in spite of all his injuries. Apollo's so strong and kind, just like the trees of the forest. The way she makes him sound, you'd think Apollo was some kind of ancient god. Wait.
He is.
Hmm.
So that's why you went to the ruins, I see.
So that actually contradicts Payne's testimony, Payne's statement then. Because they went there to look for her medicine, which technically the rhino is part of the evidence, but she didn't have any inkling that he would find anything related to the case. So why hit him?
It seems to be quite an important fact. Please add it to your testimony, Mr. Woods.
Oh, I get it.
Where there was no rubble.
No, he's not really near the witness stand. He's a little bit away.
Yeah. If she really knocked him out, he would have been by the witness stand. So yeah, go with that. And did you see this morning I took a tactical shave?
Nice.
Objection!
So he started his search with the witness stand, you say? That's right. I guess he wanted to start from the furthest point in a room. He was being so brave. Strong. But that's odd. Under the circumstances, he shouldn't have been capable of that. But he was, and still is. He might look it, but he really is brave and kind too. No, that's not the part I'm finding fault with. Someone has a crush on Apollo. Someone has a crush on Apollo.
You know what's funny is Apollo's gonna have to go back and read the court record.
Uh-oh. What you are claiming is something that no one should have been able to do.
But I think anyone could be brave and kind if they wanted to be, Mr. Wright.
True, anyone can be brave and kind, but if you would please take a look at this diagram. With the courtroom in this state, how was it possible to walk up to the witness stand? Oh.
I see your point. The rubble blocked off access to the area around the witness stand. That's not why we thought it was.
No, just Apollo's position was what threw it off. Does a tiny inconsistency even matter? Perhaps the witness is simply misremembering it. Ugh. Great, now I'm not so sure it matters. A real man doesn't make a mountain out of molehills, you know.
But that's precisely what Mr. Wright does best.
I call it slander, Your Honor.
So, was it really impossible to approach the witness stand? I have to say, it's a bit hard to tell with any accuracy from just this diagram.
Well, let's go in person. Let's see. Let's see where all the rubble is.
Mr. Payne, do you have any other photos of the crime scene?
Oh, let me see, Your Honor. Ah, yes. One more. Oh, snap! Oh, snap!
The link is too convenient, isn't it? That lovely cart there.
Also, hold on a second. Oh, not that. No. Ah!
Yeah.
You see it?
Piece of rubble there.
No. Something's removed.
Yeah, the piece of rubble there, it's gone.
So, and there's like markings there too. Like right after the S, you can see there's something else there. Huh? What's that hunk of metal on the wheels?
Here's something more interesting, is that hunk of metal on wheels has a trail, and it just kind of skips that one piece of rubble on the top left.
Yeah. It goes over, it kind of goes over it, and also the message is within it too.
Yeah.
Also, wait a minute. Yeah, it is faintly there on that one. It's like, I don't remember seeing that before, but yeah. Mr. Payne, is the metallic object in that photo Mr. Tonate's bomb transport case? That's right. Is there some problem? Why is it there?
Yes, the transport case was there in courtroom number 4 when the bomb went off.
But why is it next to the witness stand? Why was it recently moved?
It must have been there ever since.
Oh, that's it. Miss Woods, have you remembered something? Yes, I just realized. Its position. It's different from before. Its position? The position of what? The position of that big metal thing. The bomb transport case.
Transport case.
Yes, when Apollo and I went there, it was in a different place. Where the case is in the photo. Where the case is in the photo was open space, so it was easy to search the stand. I see. So where the transport case was when you see Mr. Justice saw. As I recall, it was more to the right. Right. Then that means the case was over there at the time of. The case was where Apollo's hand was. Apollo was about to look in it, wasn't he?
Detonator in there, maybe?
In that case, the case was over there at the time of Paul's attack. Who cares where the transport case was when the... What difference does it make? It has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Where the transport case was has everything to do with this discussion. In fact, it's so important that it's enough to turn the prosecution's argument on its ear. What?
Well, that certainly sounds very relevant indeed. And you sound as though you know where the case was at the time of the attack.
Yes, Your Honor. This diagram represents the crime scene as shown in the photo. This is where the transport case was at the time of the assault on Mr. Justice. I have this. The bomb case at the time of Paul's attack. Right over the message. Had to be. Your Honor, I assert this is where the transport case was at the time of the assault.
But that's...
Inconceivable! Miss Woods, was this where the transport case was when you saw it? Yes, that's where it was. Thank you, Miss Woods. I'm sure the court has noted an interesting fact about this position.
The transport case covers up the writing in blood.
Exactly. The transport case was in that position at the time of the assault. No message could have been written there because the case was in the way. Which leads to the conclusion that Mr. Justice couldn't have left the bloody writing.
Objection!
Yeah, Pants was going to say she moved it. Why should we believe the defendant's claim that the case was in a different position? She's obviously lying.
Objection!
The fact that the case moved after the assault on Mr. Justice is proved by more than Mr. Wood's testimony alone. Ah? What is this proof you're talking about? The photos themselves. It's right here in the crime photo.
I'm keen to see this proof myself, Mr. Wright. What in the photo can indicate the transport case was moved after the assault, and why is it the tire tracks?
Oh, I'm dumb. Do you see it?
The tire track over his bandana?
Yep. I mean, this is a problem too. You can't roll it over that. But then again, there's that. Please take a look at the mark that runs over Mr. Justice's bandages here.
I see it, but what is it?
The mark was made by one of the casters from the transport case carrying the bomb. As the case moved, it ran over his bandages. In other words, the transport case was originally to the right of Mr. Justice. Then after Mr. Justice was assaulted, the transport case was moved. What? Just as Miss Woods said, the case was covering the right ring at the time of the assault. Therefore, it was impossible for Mr. Justice to have left that message in blood.
Zora was overrated anyway. You did it, boss. It was a real nail biter, but you pulled it off.
Yep, that should bring down the prosecution's claim like a house of cards.
Order in the court. Mr. Wright, that was a very clever deduction.
Ah, it's nothing, Your Honor. Nothing but pure genius. Take that.
Boss, I'm sensing a definite smug and braggy vibe coming from you. I have just one question, Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor.
If Mr. Justice didn't leave the message in blood, then who did?
The culprit? Huh?
What?
Ow. Phoenix, come on. Phoenix shouldn't be questioning this at all. His assailant is the one that wrote it. It's so obvious. Well, I should have taken that train of thought through to the last station. Well, I've heard a lot about this. So this is Mr. Wright's famous bluffing technique, is it?
Ah, this feeling, it brings back memories of the old days. Back when you carved out a name for yourself by bluffing your way through thick and thin. Gee, Mr. Wright, the judge kind of makes you sound no better than a 2-bit con man.
Well, Phoenix can be a conman if you want to. You made your argument with such confidence, Mr. Wright. Now I'd like to hear your answer with just as much confidence. Hey, until the judge asked the question, you didn't catch on either, Buster.
What now, boss?
I hope you didn't bluff your way into a corner. Think, Phoenix. Think. There must be a way through this. I have to dig my way to the truth somehow. Who could have written that message in blood? The culprit. It's so obvious, Phoenix. If Apollo didn't leave that bloody writing.
Maybe it was Apollo's attacker who wrote it and made it look like Apollo did it.
That seems like the most reasonable explanation.
Oh, wait a minute, I just realized something, boss.
What is it?
Look at the amount of blood in the photo. Doesn't look like Apollo bled very much.
Yeah, that is a fair point. We don't see too much blood from Apollo. But, you know, it does make sense for him to have bled.
I wonder if it's even possible to write out Woods with just this much.
You're right. Good thing Apollo didn't lose that much blood. It might have been a factor in why he survived the assault.
And since there was so little blood, that pretty much rules out his attacker, huh?
Guess so. But if it wasn't his attacker, then who else could it have been? Wait, what? Well, it has to be someone else then, but who?
Someone on the police force?
Wait.
Because someone would have realized the clue led up to the bomb squad's arrest.
I just had a weird thought. What if she's the bomber? And then he's covering it up.
But if... Wait. But then how would she get hit with a flat object?
I think the flat object is like a big piece of rubble, maybe.
No, I think... Wait. Yeah, hold on. She was on the witness stand, right? During the bombing.
Was she hit with the cart? Like it has to be the attack. I don't get why it's not the attacker. Why is it someone else? That just unless we're like okay, I don't get what the game's logic here is. Cuz like who
I think
else
you're onto something with her being the bomber. As to why she got killed, I don't know, right? But let's say she is the culprit behind the bombing. We just assume that the I hate to say it, but from the start I kind of assumed that she died after the bomb.
that
right?
is a possibility.
Right. I think she blew up everything, and she's the culprit. She went to go pick up something, grab something, retrieve something.
Retrieve some evidence.
Maybe it could have been in the bomb case that he had, right? She had time to do it, and then Ted Tonate killed her, which is why he's hiding. So I would say someone else and then blame Ted.
But like, I don't get why like the culprit of who hit Apollo is the only person that could have written it. It's like, why does that not work? Is my question. It has to be someone else then. It's not Apollo.
I think him.
Like, why couldn't we just
It
say the
can't be the
culprit
lawyer.
and then point to him?
No way it's the lawyer.
Take that!
What?
Wait. I think it's the lawyer. I think it's Payne.
No, there's no way it's Payne.
Payne. Hold on.
Wait, what do you base
Payne
this claim on?
Oh wait.
Okay, never mind.
What if it's Payne?
Hold on.
Wright said as soon as everything happened, they were pulled from the scene, and then maybe Payne covered it up. He's the only one with opportunity. It's Payne.
What? Why would he do it though?
Not Juniper.
Well,
Payne.
I was just scrolling through them.
What if Payne was a scumbag and just wanted to point it to her?
Because like I can't go to my mind is going to like the tail end of that message where like there was something removed from it. Like I was trying to see if someone else had like some Woods kind of name, but no one does.
But I remember them saying Apollo lost a lot of blood and his wounds reopened, and so maybe he had more sources for the blood.
Wait. I think it is the victim.
Why?
Now, we can't go to the evidence. But what if the position, like her position when she was killed was over where Apollo is now?
But it isn't. She's on the bottom left.
Do we know that for sure? It also like it looks like some of the flooring was moved too. Could it in a way be her?
Try it.
Take that!
I'll agree with you if it is. Wow.
To be honest, I don't actually have any real proof of this. I've come this far. No turning back now. Besides Apollo, there's one person who shed blood at the crime scene.
A person who shed blood. You don't mean. I just thought of it. Look at the text and then look at the difference in the writing.
Oh yeah, it is slightly different. That W's weird.
More specifically, try write that O.
The
like
O's are
this.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
and also, there's a matter of
Yeah.
still a matter of like there's something further after the S.
yeah. DS. I think it's not an S. I think that's a 5. Go to his ID on the case. 5R, right? So that one was a D, 5R, OO for Woods, and then you have L1, which was probably converted to a W.
What? No shot. Oh,
Even
but
funnier, I just realized those numbers could spell out loser.
I believe Candace Arm, who left behind the message.
What? What? Detective Arm? Are you saying you know what you're doing here?
Not really.
Objection!
What kind of ridiculous assertion is that? If you had said the attacker left a message to throw people off, it might have made sense. At first glance, it would seem to be the most reasonable explanation. However, Apollo didn't shed enough blood to write an extensive message.
I clicked in.
What? Share your clicks.
She is responsible for the bomb, right? Or maybe the guy is. But remember, they're buddies, right? They know he has some sort of connection on the Force. I do agree that the body was moved, right? So that's her dying message instead of you know whose. Can you go to her picture real quick? The one where she's actually Downsy. Like,
I don't think we have that.
we don't have that. We don't have her.
Yeah, we don't have.
Wow,
her
we don't
photo.
have that. Interesting.
Unless it's in here.
So-
Oh, here it is.
Okay, so we have this.
We can't
then
tell
we
where
don't
that
see-
is.
We can't see her right hand though, right?
Yeah.
We can't tell what it is, but she has a lot of blood, right? If she was hit by debris, where she was, and for some reason or another, she took the blood and she wrote out his case number, right? Maybe when she wrote down the case number, the guy came back after and did her in fully, like just doubled the shot, moved her, and then moved his part over her actual dying message. Apollo came in later, moved the cart out of the way,
Saw it.
and then he got, saw that critical divisive clue, and then he got knocked out. I don't think he wrote, if he wrote anything, it was just the criminal taking that one and that L. See, that's an L there and a 1. L10015.
That's a weird looking one.
No, the first one is an L, right?
Well, it's kind of like an L1, but like there's that. Maybe he drew that extra line to throw it off.
Okay, think about it this way. The L is crooked to the left. If you're writing on your hand, you're writing like this.
Yeah, but
like L.
let me position this. I am
L1.
that
So you went like
that
this?
little line right here
L.
in the corner. That's what's throwing it off for me.
That's a 1.
Well, no,
That little
why is that a 1? That's
that L there, that like the W, the third stroke of the W, like 1, 2, 3. The third stroke was added later.
yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So it's L1001 S or 5 R. It's right there on the case. It's
So then
literally,
the other half of the D was added too. Then.
yes, the D was added. The 5 is the same. The R is there, but it's just cut off. And then the W and the L make the L and the 1 make a W.
Knew that code had to be something else. Paul didn't shed enough blood to write such an extensive message. Oh.
Ah, see, even the photo makes it clear there wasn't enough blood to write all those letters. And Mr. Justice did survive. I suppose he didn't bleed very extensively in that case.
But why would Detective Arm write the defendant's name? There is no connection between the two whatsoever. And I didn't even know the lady who was killed. They had never met each other. That's very true. Well then, let's see. Then maybe the intended meaning of this message is not what it appears to be.
The intended meaning?
Not what it appears to be. Maybe the message was not intended to be woods.
Coming from you, that's quite the bold statement, Mr. Wright.
It's not bold at all.
You wish to assert this bloody writing could have some other meaning?
Yes, Your Honor. For, well, something I pulled out of a wormhole, it could turn out to be true, right?
Objection!
It clearly says woods, as anyone can plainly see. What other meaning could it possibly have?
Objection!
McKenna's arm was a detective. Maybe woods only means something to the police. Like a police scanner code, for example.
I didn't think of that.
You may have tricked his honor, but you'll never get the best of me. I have a thing for studying on weekends, as you may have already guessed. And there is no such radio code as woods in this state, Mr. Wright.
8.
Is that a fact?
Don't look at me, I know as much as you do about police codes. Enough of this. I was quite taken with the defense's new theory. But if they can't substantiate with anything, then I must end things here.
No, please wait, Your Honor.
Very well, but before we discuss the theory any further, I demand a plausible explanation. So, Mr. Wright, what is the true meaning of the bloody writing?
Well, I believe it's...
And no stalling. If you can't come up with an answer quickly, I will declare the discussion officially over.
I'm in trouble now. What other meaning could it have besides the obvious one? Maybe it means something in another language? Or it's a code? Think, Phoenix, you can do this.
Which piece of evidence will tell us what the word woods really means? Case.
Take that!
The bomb transport case? I've had it up here with your shenanigans, Mr. Wright.
Take a look at the numbers on this case, Your Honor. L10015R. Doesn't that string look vaguely familiar?
L100? What does that have to do with anything?
What could those numbers possibly have to do with the case at hand?
No.
Now please take a look at the bloody writing shown in the crime photo.
Oh, I think I see it.
That a girl. That's one of my side.
It says woods.
Or you could say it's a horse of a different color, Your Honor. The first character isn't W. It's actually an L and 1. Next are 2 zeros.
Oh my goodness.
True meaning behind the bloody bride isn't Miss Wood's name. It's the numbers engraved on the bomb transport case.
Objection!
What are you talking about? Next part doesn't make any sense. Next number is 1, and the writing says D.
Objection!
But the number on the case in the bloody writing can be made to match up quite easily. How the number on the transport case can be made to look right. It's just erasing the one line of the loop, right? Yeah, because it's just one line, right?
Yeah, one line there,
It's,
2 lines for the W.
reading it backwards doesn't make any sense.
2 lines, man.
Why is it 2 lines, though?
Because you have one line to complete the W and one line to complete the D.
Oh, yeah, that... Duh. Please erase the third downward stroke of the W and the curved part of the D.
Well, would you look at that? Lawyers.
No, Your Honor. No, it isn't meant to be read as a word. It's the number L10015. Which, if you take away the final R, it's the exact same number on the bomb transport case. Erase 2 lines and they match up, you say? Well, I can change anything into anything else simply by erasing 2 lines. What if we erase 2 lines from your name? Would you be happy with that, Mr. Rye?
Well, would you, Mr. Rye?
The only right spelling is right. Okay, I'm doing pretty well here. I think I'm drawing the right conclusion. Detective Arm's real message to us is the bomb transport case number. Your Honor, the 2 lines were added by the real culprit to intentionally mislead people. What? The original message Detective Arm left behind was the transport case number. But whoever assaulted Apollo changed the message.
If you're right, Bombs, then what do you suppose Detective Arm was trying to tell us?
Good question. What does this number represent? Candace Arm lost her life in a courtroom bombing. Her dying message could only have had one purpose. No. Tell us the name of the one responsible for the bombing.
Well, don't keep us in suspense, Mr. Wright. Tell us who she was trying to name.
The culprit that the victim was trying to identify is none other than Ted Tonate, who's going to detonate the bomb.
Take that!
The defense wishes to indict Mr. Ted Tonate on the charge of the courtroom bombing.
Ted Tonate?
Apparently, disabling bombs isn't Mr. Tonate's only specialty. Somehow the victim must have realized that he was the bomber. So when she was caught in the blast, she left his bomb transport case number as her dying message. She used Mr. Tonate's own ID number to finger him for the crime.
Objection!
Why would anyone go out of their way to write an ID number? One day simply writes the person's name. He's got a good point there.
What do you have to say to that, Mr. Wright?
Not only Detective Arm would know the answer to that, but allow me to offer a theory. Perhaps Detective Arm couldn't recall Mr. Tonate's name in the heat of the moment. As I recall, this was the first meeting between the two. It's entirely possible they wouldn't have been familiar with each other.
Or maybe using the ID number was a way to hide his true meaning from the real culprit, thus lowering the odds that they would erase the bloody writing.
But no matter what the reason, the important thing is the meaning behind her message. The fact remains that she wrote Mr. Tonate's ID number.
Objection!
Now, just one moment here. There hasn't been any proof yet that it was indeed Detective Arm who wrote it.
What analysis?
The bloody writing wasn't found during the investigation after the blast. If Detective Arm had left that message, it should have been found at that time.
Objection!
Nope, the
Covered.
case was over it. Naturally, Mr. Tonate hid it before anyone could discover it. And there's a simple explanation for how he was able to do so. What? Mr. Tonate was able to cover the message up because he's... Able to cover up. Was able to cover the message because he.
He was the first to find the body.
He was the first one there. First person to discover the bloody writing was Mr. Tonate himself. Mr. Tonate saw that the victim had written his ID number. He used a bomb transport case to cover up the bloody writing as a stopgap measure.
Ah, so that's why the message in blood was under the transport case.
He didn't have enough time to scrub away the writing. If he didn't report the body right away, he would look suspicious. So the letters lived on to serve another function, when Mr. Tonate used them in another incident.
Oh, the assault on Mr. Justice.
Exactly. Mr. Tonate hit upon a plan to use the bloody writing for his own purposes. He didn't clean away. Instead, he made it look like Mr. Justice wrote it by adding two lines to the writing that Detective Arm left behind. He changed the meaning of the message. He made it look like Mr. Justice was accusing Miss Woods of the attack.
So that means
the only person who could have altered the bloody writing was the courtroom bomber. It was the same person who assaulted Mr. Justice. And that person is Ted Tonate. Gah!
order in the court. Order, I say. Looks like we'll have to hear from a bomb specialist himself. Mr. Payne, please have Mr. Tonate take the witness stand.
Yes, Your Honor.
That was great, Mr. Wright.
Just doing what I do best, which is flying by the seat of my pants. He was taunting us the whole time. Finally draw Mr. Tonate back to the witness stand. Looks like you'll get your wish, Goggle Man. Now watch me take your lies apart.